Hey there, guys. It's me, Redrick, here, the mom strategist. I am so excited. I'm so excited tonight about this topic. I'm going to be teaching very simply today. What is it that I look for when I'm making an investment? What's my criteria? What is it that I decide? How is it that I choose what is best for me? I'm going to share what I do. I've got 5 simple points. My only goal is to support you in moving forward. Hey, MJ, good to see you. My only goal is to support you in moving forward, in thinking outside of the box, figuring out what's next for you, and when you're making an investment, to show up as powerfully as you possibly can. Howdy, good to see you. I'm your Redrick. I'm the mom strategist. I'm a business and life coaching consultant. I got started in my company 15 years ago. I wanted to take my background as a corporate trainer and my systems in motherhood and combine that into my very own business. And you know what? I've done exactly that. Fast forward, I've been a full-time entrepreneur for over a decade, and I love what I get to do. I support smart, sharp women who believe in self-investment. They're action takers, they're go-getters, they're go-givers. And I have to say they're go-givers, okay? That means that they have got to be a go-giver. It means that you're a person that you've got something great and you've got some place inside of yourself that there's an overflow so you can give to others. I love working with people like that. They are smart, and they're implementers, and all their lives they've been doing things that have created amazing success, and now they've decided, I am ready to go to work for myself, by myself, doing my own thing. If this is you, that was me 15 years ago. That's exactly what I thought. That's exactly what I said. And I love the fact that I made that bold stance. I made an investment in myself that changed everything for me. So what I'm going to talk about today is how and what kind of investments can you make in yourself, and how to evaluate. Hi, Renita. How to evaluate the investments that you're making in yourself to see whether or not you're thinking as powerfully as you need to be around the things that can change your life, okay? And I've just got 5 simple points tonight because I know it's late, but my only goal is to support you guys in thinking outside of the box. And do me a favor, if there's something that I've said, if you've come to a broadcast before and you're like, that was great, you already know this is going to be amazing. So please share on Twitter, on Facebook, if you are coming back and you've been loving what you're hearing, please share. And if you're here for the first time, it's nice to virtually meet you. I'm so glad that you're here also. And I will say this, that to me, one of the greatest ahas for me in being an entrepreneur is the fact that I get to own my time. I love the fact that, you know what? I had a dream 15 years ago that I could own my time as an entrepreneur, and I get to do that. And there's no price I could ever put on the fact that I am my boss. I love it. And for those of you out here who can relate to that, I want you to write, I can relate to that. And for those of you who aspire for that, right, I'm working on that, right? Because it is one of the greatest gifts in my life, honestly. And I always tell people, I say, what's my why? My why, I do it for the freedom. I do it truly for the freedom. I love running a business because I love being a full-time entrepreneur. So I'm just going to jump right in. Hey there, Valerie. I'm going to jump right in today. You're working on that? I've just got 5 simple points. I'm not going to keep you guys long. I wanted to do this live specifically around this idea of investment because I really feel like nothing changes in our world until, hey there, darling, until we invest in ourselves at a high level. Nothing changes, or nothing changed for me before I made investments in myself to change my life. And so I always like to come here and speak truth to you. And the fact of the matter is, when we're thinking of making investments in ourselves, there are lots of roadblocks. There are a lot of psychological roadblocks, a lot of emotional roadblocks. Sometimes there are people roadblocks, right? Like, I don't have the money. I don't have the resources. I don't know if I can trust myself yet. All of these things come up when we are thinking of showing up powerfully and saying yes by investing in ourselves, right? Like, Have you had any of those things happen before? We get scared. Sometimes we pull back. And all of those things, all of the things that I'm mentioning are experiences that I have had exactly in my life as I've had to make powerful choices to grow and to change and to learn what I did not know. So what I did today was just combine the 5 things that I've done, or the way that I look at investments. And my only goal is to support you in thinking outside of the box. All right. So I'm going to jump right in. If you guys are ready, I'm ready. Number 1, the very first thing that I do when I think about an investment is I think, when I'm investing in something, I ask myself this question: what did I learn as a result of what I'm investing? I might even say, what will I learn as a result of what I'm investing? Hear me, okay? Listen, okay, so let me say this again. Whenever I'm making an investment in myself over the years, and I've made so many, I think, what will I learn? Or what did I learn as a result of my investment? What did I learn, okay? Because I do believe that your investments is the way that you learn things that you don't normally know that you get to apply. And so I'm going to break this down for you, and I hope that this will support you. So, for example, I will say, if I'm working with a client and they come to me and they have no product, which is typically the case. Most of the people that are attracted to work with me are people who are great at what they do professionally or in their lives, and they've got a special skill, but they don't have any packages. And because my background is corporate training, I know how to take what you know how to do and package it into many different ways that you can sell your content. And so that's coaching, as a coach, as a consultant, as a trainer, things like that. But one of the things that I want you to think about right now, if you're in that place, is I always think, if you work with me and I teach you how to sell what you know, what is the value of that? So if I were working with you and you didn't have a program, or maybe you've got packages and they're $100 or $200 a client, and you're trading time for dollars, and I were able to show you how to build a package that was $2,500, $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 that you sold per client. What is the value of that? And then the reason I'm saying this is because whenever I think about this, I get so excited about it, because one of the things that I realize is that when I offer my services, I try to be very generous to people, because what I really understand is if you came to me with an ability only to generate income, maybe trading time for dollars, selling something $100, $150 an hour, and that meant that you had to work a whole lot of hours in order for you to hit your monetary goal. So if you had a goal to hit $100,000 and you're charging $100 an hour per client, how many hours do you have to work, okay, in a year, right? A lot of hours. So if I were able to show you how to take what you were doing and package it instead into something that was time rich, $2,500, $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 or more per client, what's the value of that to you? It's very valuable. And so whenever I'm investing in something, I always think about, as a result of my investment, what did I learn? And this is so powerful. I hope you guys are following me on this, because what I realize is that if I charged you, I'm just making this up, $10,000 to teach you how to build a $5,000 package, and you simply sold that package to 20 people, you would make $100,000 and you would pay me 10% of that. Just saying. Okay, if you think about it. So whenever I'm making an investment, I think, as a result of my investment, what am I learning to do? And typically with my clients, they're not gonna just sell something one time. They're gonna sell it over and over and over again for the rest of their lives as a result of what they learn. So when you make an investment, what did you learn how to do? and how to monetize as a result of what you learned. Is this making sense? Are you guys following me on this? I wanted to go deep with this because I think that sometimes we don't ask big enough questions about why we're doing what we're doing. When we look at the investments that we're making, we don't see them as strategic, life-changing tools in our life. If the only way you know how to generate income right now is through your job or trading time for dollars, and that's the model you've got going on in your business, you're killing yourself. And if you had an opportunity because you made an investment in learning how to monetize in a completely different way that is not even a part of your arsenal, what's the value of that to you? Is it worth $2,500? Is it worth $10,000? Is it worth $15,000, $20,000, $25,000, $30,000 or more? If that way taught you how for the rest of your life to get your time back, that to me, that's how I look at every single thing. You know, if I supported you in building a package that you sold for $2,500, and you just sold one a month, well, at the end of the year, you'd make $30,000, right? So if you paid me $10,000, you made 30, you're still up 20. What if I showed you how to build a package, hear me on this, for $5,000 and you sold one a month, just one, okay? You'd make $60,000. What if you paid me $10,000? You would be up $50,000. This is how you have to think of it. What if I showed you how to build a package that is $10,000, okay? And as a result of that, you sold just one a month, and you'd be up $120,000, and you'd clear $110,000 with this example. What if instead I showed you how to build a package that was $20,000, and you just sold one of those a month, okay? Every month, you'd make $250,000, $40,000, and you would have paid me $10,000. So the way that I look at my investments, I look at, as a result of what I'm learning, you know, what is the lifelong return to me? And that's the way to look at it. So it just depends on the program, Faye, in terms of what the investment would be to work with me. And, you know, what I recommend that you do is just inbox me, schedule a strategy session if there's serious interest about investing in yourself to move forward. The second thing that I do is I ask myself, what other options do I have to do the same? So if I look at something and I realize I can make an investment in something that's going to create a return for me, and I put in $10,000 and I get 10 times what I put in, I think about it in my life. I say, what else can I invest in my life, hey Sandra, that can create that same kind of return? That's what I look at. I start looking at different things in my life. This is one of those things that a lot of people don't get, that they're very short-sighted. Remember, I was telling you guys about my emotional investors. I'm not an emotional investor. It's a business, okay? I think if I have something in my life that creates an incredible return for me, a return on investment, I look at other things in my life that create the same return, okay? And I'm like, what other options? What are the other things in my life that create fruit for me, has created fruit for me? All right, and that's how I know what I'm going to do. So I'm only doing things that create fruit. All right, are we clear about that? And so a lot of times we don't make investments based on those things. We make investments based on things that don't matter. And the reason that we don't get a return is because the reason you invested to begin with was never to build a profitable business. You wanted to be seen or be heard or be liked. You wanted to be in association with someone or something. And so you did get that. But when you make an investment, you need to make it for the right reason. And I'm always looking for a serious return on investment. The third thing, is this supporting you guys? I hope so. The third thing that I want you to think about is, whenever I think about an investment, I always think that I have a responsibility to learn the value of what I know. And I think a lot of people don't know the value of what they already know. They don't know it. And I know this for a fact. When I talk to people who are thinking about working with me, one of the biggest things that I hear over and over again, prices are just crazy too low. People just don't know how to take what they've been doing, what they know how to do, and stand tall. They just have no idea. And I'm going to tell you why. Because often they have been programmed by the world, right, to Google search their purpose and Google search their prices. And so they have no idea what they should be charging. They're looking at someone else that might not even have their qualifications and their story to figure out what they should be charging. And they really don't know how to assess their own value. And I'll tell you this, that people don't pay me based on a price. I mean, who cares? Like, if you were thinking of working with me and shopping me with other coaches, I say, go work with them, okay? Go work with them. People hire me because of my results. And people will hire you because of your results, all right? And I get paid based on my results, not based on what the market says I should get paid. If I can help you, you have no products right now, and I can help you build a package. And I've had clients who sold things as low as $38, and I've helped them build packages that they sold for 25 grand. Okay? What's the value of that? I'm just saying. So that's not based on the market. That's based on my skill. All right? It's based on the results. And so I want you to understand that. You need to learn the value of what you know. And when you understand the value of what you know, you will not be cheap. You will not be on sale. You will not have these discounted prices. You will not work with people who just don't deserve to work with you because they don't want to pay for what you know. I just want to be clear about that. And for any of you who've been sacrificing and working with people like that, you know how difficult it is to work with people who are not in a position to pay you what you deserve. They take up time, they take up energy, take up money, and they're typically going to be the most negative people you ever work with. That's always the case whenever you work with people who aren't able to honor and value what they have, right? It's true. I'm just calling out. Number 4, okay? You need to know the value of your path, your background, your talent, your gifts, your experience, right? You know, a lot of times we don't know it. We take it for granted. Like I talk to people sometimes and they'll start talking to me, and maybe I've known them for a couple of years. I'm like, I didn't know you went to that school. I didn't know you worked for that company. I didn't know you achieved these things. And it's because when you're doing things and you're just breathing, it's so easy to discount your brilliance and all of those things. Hey, Jasmine, it's so easy to do it. But I will tell you, if you do it, one of the things is it gets in the way. Hey there, darling. It was one of those things that gets in the way of you being properly compensated. Because the only way you're going to be properly compensated and be able to stand in your value is you need to state your value, okay? And that starts with you understanding what you're coming with. Any single person that's working with you is sitting on your shoulders. They're standing on your shoulders. This is what I understand. The reason that people pay me and the reason that people will pay you, right, premium for what you know is because of what you know, because of your journey, because of your experience. And so how could you not account for the thing that makes you different from every single person? What makes you scarce is what makes you valuable. And I find so many people, they're not scarce. They're trying to be like everybody else. All right. And they're afraid to stand out. They're afraid to say that they're amazing. You know, I wrote a post about my daughter earlier today. She's such a rock star. And I meant it with all the humility in the world. But the fact of the matter is, people write stories about teenagers all day long, and they're doing like average things, or not. Sometimes they're not even doing great things. Here's a kid who's academically amazing, who is a phenomenal athlete, who is, who loves God, who's a good-hearted being, and she knows her value, and I do too. And one of the things I want you to understand is that you can't be afraid to say or state your value, even if you're among people that cannot breathe it in. Hear me on this, okay? Because there are people out there in the world that are looking for what you know how to do, and they're looking for someone with your skill set. But if you won't state it because maybe you've been in the room and it's just been all quiet whenever you've shown up as brilliant and amazing, that's one of the things that's getting in the way of you working with the people you need to work with. I'm unapologetic about what I know how to do. Yeah, thank you. I'm unapologetic about what I know how to do. Not arrogant. Unapologetic. You know, my journey's prepared me. My experience, my discipline, my consistency, my persistency, the results, they speak for themselves. And the fact of the matter is, you know, I understand that the reason someone wants to work with me is because I can back it up. And the reason someone's going to want to work with you is because you can back it up. But no one's going to know that if you mute the story. And so that's your responsibility. All right, number five. The fifth thing that I want you to keep in mind is the importance of knowing how to build a time-rich business. And this is something that I can't speak enough of. And it's something that very few people know a lot about. Most of the people that I speak with who are thinking about starting a business or who are entrepreneurs, they build their business like a job, just like the job that they left or like the job that they're working. So that's why you have so many people talking about hustle and grind. Like, I got this business, it's my hustle, my grind, I got to put my head down. You heard people say things like that. It's because they built another job. But that's part of a mindset challenge because it's not expansive. If you had the opportunity to truly hang out with people who are wealthy, one of the things that you realize is that they've got time-rich models. They've got an ability to compound what they do. And they're not trading time for dollars. They're not. And if you don't know anything about that, you do need to know about that. The way that I learned, I had to make an investment in myself. Yes, I did. And I had to learn from someone that was doing exactly that. And that is how I learned everything that I know about those kind of models. It didn't come from my mom or my dad, and I love them, but they were old school. You know, they were trading time for dollars. It didn't come from my aunt. It didn't come from my friends. They were all working 9 to 5, or some of them salaried people, 9 to 7 or 8 or whatever it was. And so they didn't know anything about this ability to leverage your time and your intellect and be able to service people around the world. That came as a direct result of my investments. And I want to say that for those of you who want to live differently, you want to live differently this upcoming year, but the way that you invest isn't different, nothing's going to change. Okay? I am the sum of my investments. You are the sum of your investments. And the one thing that I never skimp on is investing in myself. I understand that I'm my number one asset, and that at the end of the day, it's what I don't know that keeps me broke, that keeps me stuck. It is really that, okay? And I believe this wholeheartedly. If you know what someone knows, you can do what they do. But if you don't know what they know, you're going to keep doing what you do, all right? Which may or may not be working for you. So those are my 5 points that I wanted to talk about today, how to truly evaluate an investment. Just to recap, number one is that what do you learn as a result of investing in something? Like, how did you learn to monetize differently? And I think about that. I think, okay, well, if I'm going to invest in a solution and someone's going to show me, I put up $30,000 as an investment, and you're going to show me how to make $1 million, then that's a significant investment, right? I put up $10,000 and you're going to show me how to make $100,000. That's a great investment. That's a great return. And when I think about it, I always think what I'm offering people is the most generous thing ever. Because if I know that I can show you how to sell a product for $2,500 or more, I'm not charging you $50,000 a year to do that. So that's pretty amazing. Although that's what you could earn if you just sold one a month. And most people don't do that. and sell it to multiple people over and over and over again. The second thing is I think about what are the other options for me to be able to monetize at that level. That's what I think about. What are the other options in my life that allow me to do this? This is the thing that hems everyone up, because it's so easy to focus on the things that don't work. But you got to think about the things in your life that create return. You got to look at the things in your life that create fruit. Look at the things that have moved you forward, okay? And then get over yourself, okay? Number 3, learn the value of what you know. And if you don't know the value of what you know, you will forever be on discount, or you will forever slash your prices, or forever have these crazy sales, and you won't get to work with the people who really do value the transformation that you provide. Those are the only people that you need to be working with. I don't want to work with people who don't want to invest in themselves. It's a waste of time. You're not going to do anything that I want you to do anyway. I don't want to work with people who are discount shoppers. Why? I want to work with people who are like, I'm my number one asset. I want to work with the best, and I am in a place in my life that I can say yes. Those are the people I like to work with. And number 4, know the value of your path, your background, your gifts, right? A lot of times people don't know it. So because of it, their prices reflect that, or the language that they're speaking when they're talking to other people about who they are and what they do, who they be, how they show up. There's something missing. So your audience doesn't even really know how powerful and amazing you really are, because you're not telling that full story. And this sometimes gets people hung up, because we've been told to be humble, right? And sometimes what we confuse that with is just not even telling the truth, not even telling people who you are. That's why I wanted to share that story about my daughter, because, I've told her, you don't ever have to be shameful for being brilliant, for being smart, for being capable, for being confident. You don't have to hide behind that. That's every reason to stand. All right. And unfortunately, we live in a world that when you do stand in those things, people say, oh, too much. You're not too much. No. You need to go and find people your own ambition level and above that are doing exactly the same thing and beyond, because they won't think you're too much. The only people that think you're too much are the people who are sitting and not standing in their purpose. Those are the people who think you're doing too much. All right. And number 5, know how to build a time-rich business. I think you need to have investments that teach you how to compound your time. And if you don't have that, you need to have that. It needs to be part of your model for this upcoming year. That's what I wanted to share with you guys. Did you get value tonight? Did this support you guys? All right, tell me, what was your one aha or takeaway as a result of being here tonight? Any ahas or takeaways as a result of being here? Any questions for me? I have enjoyed sharing this with you tonight. It just came up on my mind. It was just one of those things that I thought about a little bit ago, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go live and I'm going to talk about it, because people really don't understand when they're making investments how to really be thinking about the investment. They're focused on price. They're like, how much is this? And it has nothing to do with how much anything is. It has to do with, as a result of you making that investment in yourself, are you going to get the kind of return that you want, that you desire? Do you even know what that return is? And then based on that, most often, most investments are exceptionally generous. I think I'm very generous. When I think about what I can create for someone else, for a lifetime, very generous. I'm not charging people lifetime prices. I'm charging you a price right now. MJ, her takeaway was invest in what creates fruit. That's very simple. And a lot of times we forget that part. You know what I mean? But you got to invest in things that create fruit for yourself. Are there any ahas or takeaways? Renita writes that I don't know how valuable what I know is. Thank you so much. That was a good one too. Yeah, what you know is exceptionally valuable. And I think that sometimes we never think about how valuable it is. We take for granted what we bring to the table. We discount it for other people. We mute our stories. We pretend. We try to act like we're not, special. You are. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. You got to stand in your value. And when you stand in your value, other people, you give them permission to stand in theirs. All right, 100%. Are there any other ahas or takeaways before I sign off? I want to thank you for being here tonight. I appreciate you guys for being here. As always, a great topic. Pamela writes, build a time-rich business. Absolutely. So this idea of trading time for dollars, that's a thing of the past. There's a new way to generate income. I'm not a big fan of flash cash strategies at all. I think that you need real solutions. I know for me, that's what I needed. I didn't want to build a business that allowed me to get free, then I had to go back to work. I wanted to get free and stay free. And I know that the way that you can do that is with some really great time-rich strategies that allow you to leverage what you know. All right, you're welcome, Jean. And that's so powerful. And, that's important. That's important. And now we're just in month 2, so you've got plenty of time to figure that out. All right. If there are not any other comments, and I'm going to sign off, I want to thank you for being here tonight. If you have not shared, please do it right now. Right now. Share on Facebook. Please share on Facebook. If you're not connected with me, at Mia Redrick, the Mom Strategist, at MiaRedrick.com, at MiaRedrick.com. Make sure you're on my newsletter list, MiaRedrick.com, my first and last name.com. Thank you, MJ. Thank you so much. Did you ever reach out to Diane? And Renita writes, thank you. This was awesome. Thanks, MJ, for sharing this with me. Thank you, MJ, for sharing, Renita. I appreciate that. I love that. And MJ, did you ever reach out to Diana? Did you ever reach out to her? So hopefully you guys did get to connect. Okay. Thank you for your time. I will talk to you soon. You're welcome, Shalitha. You're welcome, Faye. I appreciate you for being here. And I want to thank you for your time. And I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.